What up, y'all? Today I wanted to talk to you about why the narcissist downgrades in supply after leaving or discarding the primary source. So let's get started. So a lot of times we look at things from a different point of view than a narcissist, so this kind of gets us off track a lot of times because we think they think like us. Even after being discarded, we like to, at least in the first couple of cycles, we like to think that, they think like us. So we try to rationalize things to find out where they are. And the longer we try to go down that rabbit hole, the more confused it gets until you kind of get enlightened to what's going on. And I do think that in a way, that's where rumination occurs as well. So if we would have listened to our intuition, we would have never made it this far. But because we didn't listen to our intuition, we got involved and all tied up in a very, very much confusing, destructive relationship. And when we're thinking with our mind and our ego at that point, because until you wake up, man, you're kind of lost to what the hell's going on here, because we think sane as a sane individual. They think as a insane individual. But like a lot of people say, they could turn it off and turn it on. So when they need to do things like go to work and have a career, they can do things like that. But a lot of times behind closed doors, dealing with the covert, most are covert narcissists. Most people have no idea what the hell's going on behind closed doors, and that these people are pure. If everybody in the world, I'll put it to you like this: if everybody in the world went through what we went through, they would understand that you don't need to be looking for no aliens because they're here already. And they're called narcissists. So anyway, there's going to be 7 points that I want to go over, or reasons. But I also want to say, because they think like that differently, well, let's just go through them. So when you get discarded from the narcissist, they are a person that in a lot of ways, they went through trauma in their childhood. And so because they dealt with a lot of certain kinds of trauma where they were shown no love from maybe the narcissistic parent or caregiver or whoever it was, that continued to maybe do brutal things to them as a youngster, from toddler age up, and to build that cohesive control, that extension of themselves, that parent figure, whoever it was. They kind of destroyed the inner workings of the narcissist. They fractionated their soul, or whatever you want to call it. And so what this caused is for them to put all kinds of kindness, love, compassion, and the good traits and good qualities that individuals of humanity have towards one another, especially in time of need, to lend someone a hand, or to love, or to connect with others, is the most beautiful thing. And so they looked at that construct as being weak, and that's what caused all this trouble to begin with, as they actually start to age. And so they have some sort of like an arrestive development when it comes to their some of their thinking and their cognitive thinking and their emotional regulation. And so what they start to do is they shut off all of the love centers and good-hearted centers in their brain, or their mind, and their thoughts, and the brain, and then they just use they go down to construct of greed, and all of this is kind of like led from greediness, because without love, then you're gonna feel like you have to have control of everything, and you don't want to lack. because if you don't have control of everything, and if you start to lack, then the whole thing is a sham. So what they do is, out of greed, they do everything to control, because they shut those centers off. They have this black hole that's empty, their true self, okay? And so to avoid that true self, they have to, they shut off the energy fields to their true self as well. You know, all of their being independent, having authenticity, individuality, having, you know, to be secure from the inside out, so to speak. I mean, like, we get, like, for them to get their validation from the inside, them knowing that they are doing what they want to do, need to do, and are supposed to do, as in humanity, or and to treat people right, and to do good, and perpetuate goodness. Okay, that's all, you know, most people would ask, right? And to work at being the best version of yourself, you know, looking good, yeah. Providing, yes. Being a good member of society, absolutely. And you know, trying to have a, if you want to have a family, you know, to respect the family, love the family, and take care of the family, you know. And so they go into, they don't think like that. So because they're not getting it from here, they shut this off. And so that's why it forces them to get all of the validation from out here coming to them, okay? And so they can't be good, okay? Because they have to manipulate, do coercive control, and to you know, distract and redirect to them, and to, you know, they lost control as a child. They didn't have control, and they started to go down the wrong route, and so they shut this off. They have to get all of their validation from out there, okay? And that all of their energy comes from out there. There's nothing here anymore. In fact, that's why this takes so much energy, is because you have to distract yourself from this black hole that's sucking. And what's in there now is nothing good. So they can't love, and when you think they're loving you, it's just a manipulation. It's just a manipulation for them to get more greed, okay? For that energy is their drug, because they have to have it. We all need energy. The thing is when we're independent and we love ourselves, and, you know, we have authenticity, we have a soul, and we know what our soul consists of, our essence, we are confident that what is happening out there is just somebody's opinion. It's subjective, okay? It's not objective. It can be, but most of the time it's not, you know, or who cares? But we also have the ability to reflect. We have the ability to have regret, to forgive, to need forgiveness. We make mistakes, and you know, we work on things. People of humanity, I mean, that's the idea, and that's why we have these are checks and balances for us. You know, having remorse, regret, having the ability to need forgiveness, but also, you know, when you're in a good spot and somebody does something to you, you know, you have to reflect that, you know, I needed forgiveness once, I need to give them forgiveness. And, you know, if you believe in God, you know, it's like, God, Lord knows, we sin every day, all the time. And so, you know, that's where humanity comes in, but the narcissist does not have that. So they have to always seek from the outside, and if they can't get it from the outside, they got to go into that black hole. It forces them to. There's nothing else to distract them. And so when that happens, you know, it's like it's over for them. You know, they have such an injury that they could land themselves in a hospital, want to you know, unlife themselves, just all kinds of things. But typically they won't want to unlife themselves. Typically that is a threat. Sometimes they can go over the edge, sometimes by accident. But what they're seeking in supply, we always talk about narcissistic supply. So they're seeking attention. They're seeking, you know, admiration, drama, fame, some sort of like, you know, they're famous or they're known around town, or, you know, for something good, not like as for being a hooker or something, you know. But and then for control and sex. Okay, this is where they get all of their life source energy, because they don't have a life source. There's like, basically, if you take everybody away from them, they will be a zombie, because there's nothing there. And that's why I think they turn gray and ashen, because if there's nothing there, they have no battery, you know. They're just, if, you know, if there's nobody around them for supply, it's just like four walls or something, they will just be existing. So anyway, so attention, through and drama and admiration, you know, fame and control and sex. Okay, so we're going to go over the 7 reasons why the narcissist will downgrade after they discard the primary source of supply. They are never satisfied, and they need the thrill of a chase. Okay, they love that. That's what they love the most. That's like one of the best sources of supply, is a new source with a chase. It's almost it's like a new toy to a toddler or a small child, right? We always talk about this, the new toy. A new toy is wonderful. It's awesome. It's amazing when you're a child. You don't want anybody to touch it. You don't want to damage it. You want it all for yourself, and you don't want to borrow it. You want to own it. And if you can't own it, nobody can, and then they got to break it. Okay, well, you're that toy. And if you're the new toy, then they're going to want to play with you all the time because you're new. Just like that G.I. Joe soldier that I had when I was a kid, you know? When I had a new G.I. Joe soldier, guess who I was playing with? I wasn't playing with the other 200 G.I. Joe soldiers. I was playing with the new one every day for about a week. Then I would get tired of it. And I wouldn't want nobody to touch it, use it. I wanted it all for myself. I was greedy, okay? And if I couldn't have it, if somebody was fighting with me and my mother was like, let your friend play with that G.I. Joe. Let him play with it. Then I would be like, no, and I'd break it. I'm not saying I did that. I'm saying this is how a child operates, right? Well, they're really still children. They're arrested development, really. Especially when you get into, you know, supply and emotions and emotional regulation. Okay, so that's what's going on. Once you have been used up, and like I said, you know, it doesn't take long. I mean, a toddler or a child, it didn't take long for them to get tired of the new G.I. Joe. Okay, the paint would rub off. They wouldn't be as crisp as they were. They didn't smell as good, like brand new plastic. Okay, so then you put them on a shelf, right? And then you ask your mother or whoever, can we go to the store? I want to get another G.I. Joe. A new one. Why? Because the other ones I've played with them. They're played out. See, that's the thing. They don't have any kind of, you know, they can't build relationships truly. They can't connect with individuals. That's why they created the fantasy world. Let me keep moving on because I can talk forever on this. They need somebody that's full of fuel. You know, when they left you because they fractionated their soul and they have to look outside all the time to distract themselves, they continually, when they find a good source of supply, they will just suck everything from them. But first, they will give them a bunch of love. You know, the love bomb, right? They'll give them a bunch of love. They'll build them up. But then, you know, when you do them wrong one time, not do them wrong, like, because we don't, I mean, I could almost look at some of my relationships that were with narcissists and I was perfect, man. I mean, really, I was really good. Like, I mean, if I had to have regret for something that I did, I really didn't. because it was weird, because if anything, I was the best. I was on my real on point when it came to a narcissist, just because of that dang freaking spell that you have put on you, till you break that curse, right? But they need that fuel. But once you kind of go do, they feel offended, then all of a sudden, man, you're in devalue phase, and they have to look for a new source supply, or, you know, or existing, whatever. But that's why, you know, that's the other reason why they want a new source of supply versus somebody that's been on the shelf. But they really want the chase, and then if they can get someone that's topped off and full of fuel, then they could suck them dry, because when they left you, you were emaciated. When they found you, you were full too. Okay, but what the problem is they destroyed you. When you get into devalue phase, they start to suck all of your energy, and they start to devalue the crap out of you. By the time they get done with you, you don't feel like a human. You feel like an ant that just got stepped on. Okay, number 3, you know, they need somebody that's more submissive than you are. That's most of the time the possibility. When they downgrade supply, it's because they weren't at your level to begin with. You were better than probably, you know, I say you're better than them because you treat people right and you have good morals, definitely better than them. And so, and you're really working hard, you know, you probably didn't get anything for free if you were a scapegoat. And you worked hard for anything that you had. Okay, and you're truly trying to, like, get somewhere, what they call getting ahead, right? And a lot of times we get into just finances. You know, we're maybe bettering ourselves a little bit, but that's what's exciting about waking up to narcissism, because you're going to get off the couch, you're going to exercise, you're going to do things like you need to be doing. You're going to work hard every day, knowing that tomorrow's going to be a better day. And you're going to be a new man, new woman, a new individual, better than ever, the 2.0. So basically, they need someone submissive, because if they can get somebody more submissive, and a lot of times they have to downgrade to get somebody more submissive, they, like somebody hooked on drugs or alcohol, somebody who, you know, has, you know, not that much motivation, man, but they will do anything for them. They'll forgive them for the evil deeds that they do. They'll take all the punishment, and they'll, straighten the mask out for them and give them any kind of validation that they need. And so supply, fuel is fuel. That's why we don't think like they do. We look at the new source supply, the downgrade, as, you know, they're missing a tooth, and you know, like they work at, or don't work. I mean, you know, like, these guys are terrible, right? And you're like, you got to be kidding me. That's what you went and got. Okay, so number 4 is they want somebody focused on them, more focused on them. And so if they like a supply individual that 100% of their time, 100% of their energy, 100% of their thinking is on the narcissist. They want you ruminating on them constantly, calling them, or at their beck and call. And, you know, a lot of times, if you were, you say, independent, or and they can break you down and to getting like this is dependent upon them. You know, this is thinking about them, ruminating on them all day long, every day. What can I do? When the phone rings, you better answer it first ring. You know, do what you can, because you want to see the narcissist. So that's a big deal to them, huge amount of supply. And then number 5 is not to be outshone. Somebody who, you know, they're gonna go out somewhere with you, hanging on their arm, or you know, or whatever, and they don't want you to outshine them. So if you're a downgrade supply, well, you're not going to outshine them ever. That makes it easy on them, you know. In fact, they might have to dress your ass up, you know, and you're still a downgrade. But I'm just saying, like, so they just will, so they're easier to manipulate, and they're never as motivated as you were. So they're not going to have the type of career you have. They're not going to work as hard as you. They're not going to be into doing performing excellence, you know, and having, you know, being well groomed, nice style, or, you know, educated, fit, anything, all of that. They're not going to have all that. So, you know, they don't have to worry about being outshined. They're the one always shining. All they got to do is show up. A lot of times too, if you discarded them before they discarded you or something, because, you know, you caught on real quick, you got information, or you just decided you're tired of this and you're never doing it anymore, and you discard them and they weren't expecting it, well, they can't be picky. So they got to go out and get the whatever they can. And if, for instance, they don't have much of a harem, because a lot of times they like to make you think they do, but they really don't. They might have one or two people. They might have part-time harems, people that they see once in a while, or might have nobody in there. If they have nobody in there, then they got to run out and get like a drug addict or something, whatever they can get. Get on Tinder and pick up some, you know, somebody that you know, anybody could date. You know, how about that? And of course, this is all subjective. I mean, to say you're better than this person or whatever, but, you know, at some point you got to say it's obvious that, you know, at least you're more motivated in maybe doing the right thing or doing things better, or at least have more appeal to you. So that's what they got to do. A lot of times if they have people like that, they're going to come with a lot of these other things, like, you know, but a lot of times there's people that are toxic like this, and they may get a good bout of the same juice they're giving out. And then number 7 is the trauma. So if they show some sort of new supply, even if they're a downgrade, it could traumatize you. It could make you heal slower. It triangulates you as well. And so that's the deal. And so give me a thumbs up, a like, and a subscription. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stand tall, soldier. Peace out. Love y'all.